And welcome and good morning, everyone. This is a Diana Wright Show live at the 10:30 hour. And we welcome you to the program. We thank you so much for joining us, and we welcome our viewers from around the world and in the United States. Hope that you're having a great morning, and hope that something I say today will inspire you to move forward, to get you out of your doldrums, take you into the right place where you can flow and prosper and realize your dreams. And as I listened to Joseph Prince this morning, he talked about the fact that you will get tons of compliments, especially as a pastor. But the one negative thing that happens or someone says about you, you take that one negative and you run with it and you repeat it and you strive on it and you think about it and you just can't get it out your system. It's not just the pastor that does that. I think it's all of us that does. We just simply do that because our energies go toward the negative. But shouldn't we actually bring back our feelings to all the positives that are said? And we look at the Bible. There's so many good things in the Bible that tells you that God is real. He works miracles. He does great things. He will provide for you. He will do all these great things for you. But we choose to have doubt. And we choose to think of the negative things. But is it possible for me to ask you to just simply focus on the positive things and scrub the negative thoughts from your brain and embrace the I Love Me crusade that we do on this show, launched and created by the show? Because, I want to say launched and created by this show because a lot of things we do in life, we don't seem to get credit for it. And even though the person who is making the money from the thing you created, they know you created the thing, but they refuse to give you the credit for creating that thing, even though that thing is making them eat food, putting bread on their table every single day. So how do you deal with that? That's negative. So you take it out and you focus on the positive, the gift that God gave you. Remember, I talk about the gifts. What are the gifts that God gave you? And you need to tap into those gifts, whatever they are. You got a nose for perfume? Make perfume. You got hands to be a great carpenter? Be a great carpenter. I wish I was one. Along with my talent that I know that God gave me to speak and create and think and get things into action and being a person of action. I also wish I was a builder. And even though I might design great things, whether it's clothing or the house or whatever, that's not my chosen profession. Wish I could do them all. So what are you hoping for and what are you wishing for and what did you see in the boxes of blessings that you opened today? Whether you open both boxes in your imagination, that's fine. You don't have to go out and buy the literal boxes. Just close your eyes. And as Dax likes to say, just breathe and see what you want come out of the boxes. So as I ponder and I speak to you today, from the depth of my heart and my soul and my spirit, there are some things when they come to us negatively, we should just simply rebuke them, put them behind us, and move forward. And when you're disappointed, as Pastor Sewell says, the land of disappointment in his book, it's the way you choose to deal with that disappointment. And you should know that life will give you disappointments. It's simple. That's what it is. And did you also know that there was something that I kept talking about? Not necessarily here, but in general, that I will say, if a disaster or a tragedy or a devastation happens in your life, not all your friends are sad to see that happen. Some of them rejoice in your tragedy and in your sadness and in your depression and in your devastation. It's just simple. But then I went and I spoke to my mom about it, and she could have given me a quotation from a book she was reading that said exactly that. Not all your friends are sad when you're sad. Not all your friends are with you when you have tragedy. So you just have to forget about that part, embrace the positive part, and press on. Just keep moving. You got to move to get to where you want to go. No one, including God, will come and drop anything in your lap. He will speak to you in your dreams, or if you want to call them visions, because I think that's what they are most of the times. He will speak to you through that small voice in your body. Intuition, you call it. Some people call it intuition. Some call it that small voice. Some call it the Holy Spirit. Some call it whatever you call it. You need to listen to it, because it really, truly does not lead you astray. And when you lay in your bed or lie in your bed at nights, or when you exercise and you are going through your breathing and you're lying there with your eyes closed and it's quiet, just listen to what speaks to you. Listen to that small voice. And don't embrace the negative. And whatever you do, just never, ever, 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 ever give up. Today is the 30th of May. It's only a month since we celebrated the I Love Me Day right here on the Diana Wright Show Live, created by this show, I must say. So all the other imposters, we need not have you. And yes, my book, Deadly Negligence, will tell you a whole lot of things that you just did not know. I hope it also helps you, even though we wish not anything like this to happen to anyone else on the planet. We hope that it will take you on the journey to get you to where you want to be. And as I welcome you from around the world and in the United States, I trust and hope that lots of you are telling your friends about the program, because I hope that it also helps you to give pause and thought to your own problems that you think you have, that you think you can't cope with, that you think you will never endure and come to a good place. But if you look at it, the man in Cleveland, Ohio, that the white girl ran in his arms, you know his quotation that he said, "I know there is problems when a white girl is running in the arms of a black man. So whose arms are you willing to run into to save you this day?" I hope, and I truly hope, it is the arms of the only one that can set us free, who has supernatural powers to answer all our prayers and complete all our miracles. That is God through his son Jesus. And if he doesn't, should we believe the promises that are in the word, the good book that we call the Bible? Again, this is the Diana Wright Show, and I thank you for joining me this morning. And when it rains, don't complain, because when it's hot, you complain too. And when it snows, you complain. And when it's cold, you complain. What do you want God to do? Cannot always be spring. It cannot always be fall, which I think spring and fall seems to be the most popular times when people are not complaining about something. Life is about seasons. And just the way we have spring, summer, fall, winter, your life seemed to go through that same journey, because everything that happens to you and I, it only lasts for a season. And I know that for a fact. It only lasts for a season, because the season must end. Because only salvation, we're told, lasts forever. So I'm here to encourage you this morning, out of whatever you're in, whatever funk you find yourself in, to wake up. Assure yourself that you love yourself by saying the 3 little words, I love me. Look in the mirror and then tell me that you're not able to go on, because you can, and then just breathe. Season. What season are you in? Are you in a bad one? It's not going to last forever, because nothing does. But when you're in it, you really and truly don't want anyone to tell you that weeping may last for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You don't want to hear that. Because you're saying to yourself, they don't know my pain. Diana doesn't know what I'm going through. What is she talking about? Absolutely, I know what you're going through, because I've been there. And it's always good. It's just like if you're trying to lose weight. You don't want any skinny people telling you to lose weight, or telling you that, oh, it's so easy to lose some weight. All you got to be doing is being disciplined. No, you want to see a before and after of that person without the picture being doctored. And you want to see that they endured your struggle. And they were fat too, and they lost it. Because they decided to take action, be disciplined, and reach for excellence. Remember, I told you that was my word yesterday. It is the word for this day again. Excellence. Whatever we do, whatever we are trying to pursue, let us do it with excellence. So, as we go through the news today, because this is a day that I go through the news this in the morning on a Thursday, unless I have a special guest, like I did the other day with Dorothy Leeds. But I'm going to go through the news, some of the news today. This evening at the 8 o'clock hour of the Diana Wright Show, we'll be joined by Dax Dunn and Men Speak. The show that we give men an opportunity to speak. We're not here to break men down. We're simply here to give you an opportunity to speak to the world, because when you're on the World Wide Web, you don't know who's listening. No one will recognize your voice. But maybe your significant other, but who cares? I want to hear men speak positive things. What are you looking for from a woman? Why is it that black men seem to love long hair, and hence most black women think they have to put a weave on to make you think they're gorgeous? And some black men are so stupid that they actually believe that that weave is real. Are they not putting their hands through it? Because if you put your hands through it, you know it can't be real. What makes men so sexually obsessed? What makes men tick? What makes some men like fat women and some like skinny women and some just like them right in the middle there? We give you an opportunity to speak at the 8 o'clock hour. So we expect that you can use the time to call and make sure your voices are heard, because you always say that women just talk, 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 talk. So nobody actually gives men a chance to speak. I give you the opportunity on the Diana Wright Show live at 8 o'clock every Thursday evening, and I want you to use the time to speak. We can go as long as you want. It doesn't have to be an hour. So let not the burden of speaking for men be on Dax alone. Where is your voice? We need to hear it, because you're always accusing women of, tearing men down and speaking negative things about men. This is not the show for it. Yes, women can call and speak their minds, but the intention of the show is to give men their chance, their opportunity to speak and to say what their needs are. Are women too needy? I think some of them are. Yes, absolutely. So, I am a woman, but I want to hear your thoughts on that. It's not about my opinion. It's about the opinion of men. Men and men only. I had a show in Jamaica just taped about that. Men and men only. I should probably just run the tape one of these days. And men just spoke. They opened up. They told me what their needs were. But I want to hear it from an international audience, not just from Jamaican men. I want everybody to speak. So come out of your cave or your dungeon or your shyness, or get over it. And stop being chickens and call. 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. This evening, it's your opportunity as a man to speak. And every Thursday forward. Of course, unless we go on vacation, because we do have to go on vacation sometime. And recharge and rejuvenate, because that's one of the things that Americans are losing, because that's why I think there's so many crazy people around. So we begin the news at Disney World in my favorite state of California. A man decided to go to the park with a loaded gun in his pocket. So a gun was found on the dinosaur ride in the seat by a grandmother and her grandson. So what did they do? They turned the gun in to the authorities at Disneyland. So Disney World, that's in California. And when I saw the story coming up, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how did that gun pass the checkpoint at Disney World? Because at the Disney World, or in Orlando, in Florida, that is, or in California, they check your bags. But lo and behold, they don't check your pockets, and they don't do the steel thing that you walk through and it goes beep. No, they don't. So what happened is that this grandmother and her grandson found a loaded gun on the seat of the dinosaur ride. They turned the gun in, as I said before, and they found the owner of the gun in the park, Mr. Angelo Lista, who said something that I thought was absolutely crazy. He said, they checked his bags, but he did not know that you could not take a gun to Disney World, even if you have a permit for the gun. Yes, we're not disputing that part, because he did have his permit for his gun. But is there anyone on the planet that just does not know that you take a loaded gun to a park with thousands of people? Ooh, chills up my spine. So the park was emptied in a minute or two. And what is this going to do for Disney World and, in California and in Orlando now? I'm not quite sure. And they have one, in Europe too. Are there people in this 2013 who actually don't know that you can't put a gun loaded in your pocket and go to Disney World with your child and your significant other or your spouse or whatever? What are you thinking? With all the things that are happening on television, you truly don't know. Oh, and his wife, they were trying to interview her and she just jumped out of her car and said he didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he did something wrong. Fess up, people. I'm sorry, fess up. And wife, do not say he did not do anything wrong, because that is stupid. To walk in a park with a loaded gun in your pocket. No one is saying you're going to do anything with it. And then he said some stupid thing like, he was carrying the gun because he wanted to protect himself just in case. Just in case of what? Just in case there's another crazy with a gun who shoots it off? Or shoots after someone who steps on his toe in the park? Incredible how people are living on this planet, in this United States, and gonna tell the police that they did not know they could not take a loaded gun in their pocket? So why didn't he put the gun in his bag where he knows that it was going to be checked? He put it in his pocket because he knew that his pocket was not going to be checked. Because they don't do a body search when you go to Disney. But I guess he taught them a lesson. Because I am positive that as of today, I don't know this, but I'm predicting it, that both Disney World in California, Orlando, and wherever else it is around the world will, as of this moment, as of the moment yesterday, they have actually started to install those metal things when you go through the entrance of the park. So maybe it's a good thing that Mr. Lister decided to take his gun in his pocket, loaded no doubt, because I'm sure, I am positive that the Disney franchise will indeed take caution to the wind from this lesson, that you just can't just check people's bags, you gotta check their bodies. And you have to and must create a fortress of, steel indicators at every stop and every door. Otherwise, the parks will stay empty because people will just not be going. Can you imagine sitting beside someone with a gun in their pocket, loaded as it is, and you just happen to say the wrong thing? Like Mayor Bloomberg of New York, who is obviously saying the wrong things about gun control. So some gun control person hater who does not like what Mayor Bloomberg is saying in New York City, he doesn't like the ads that he's running to fight against these politicians who voted no on the gun control bill that simply wanted universal background checks that the NRA indeed agreed with years ago, from the mouth of Mr. Lapierre himself. But today it is bad because Barack Obama, the black guy in the house, the big house, the white one. So we can fight him. So someone decided to send Mayor Bloomberg a letter laced with ricin. But I truly want to ask these people, and you remember a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or so, there was also one sent to President Barack Obama in Washington. But I simply want to ask the people out there who are thinking of doing evil, sending letters to people with ricin, like these politicians. You're not thinking it through properly, are you? Because don't you know that the letters that you're sending with ricin are only just hurting little people who work in the mailrooms of these politicians, and it will never get to them with the ricin. When you write the president or when you send a letter to Mayor Bloomberg, it's not going to just go from your house to the mail to his hand. It goes through a process and a chain of people before it even gets to President Barack Obama or Mayor Bloomberg. So who are you hurting? You're hurting the little people. Oh my God, are we thinking? Why do we do these things? Do we sit or we get up in the morning and say, who do I hurt today? Instead of saying, who can I bless today, God? Or who can I say a kind word to that will lift them out of anything that they're in, God? And as I listen to the storm outside and the pitter-patter on my roof, I plead with you, don't sit and do this, because you're only hurting your brothers and sisters. The people you want to hurt are never going to get it. And why would you want to hurt someone else? People should be able to stand up and give their opinion about things. And if Mayor Bloomberg has all that money and he wants to use it to promote his view on gun control, why should you strive to stop him? By sending a letter laced with whatever, because there are other things like anthrax and those other things that people do send, you're only hurting the little guy. The little guy who has their family at home depending on their little paycheck. They're the ones that are going to search that mail and touch it first and be hurt. Come on, people. Wake up. And if you are so mad about someone taking away your gun, you need to get a life. Seriously. No one is coming to take away your gun. Why can't people understand that? Why is that so difficult? And why is not the head of the NRA, Mr. Wayne LaPierre, telling his members that? Why is he always trying to tell them some lie? Because he wants to keep his job. Lies, hate, envy, jealousy, unforgiveness are cruel, horrible words. So can we just replace all of those with one big one? You just need one. And it's only 4 letters. LOVE. And then when you put an I in front of it and me at the end of the love, you simply get I love me. What's so difficult about that? It's so much easier to love than to hate. It's so much easier to love yourself and not be jealous of someone else. Some people might think you're jealous about something, but they're actually stupid too. Because hence I tell you, jealousy is not part of my vocabulary. I am too confident and too thinking about loving myself that I ain't have time to be jealous of anyone. So don't misinterpret pointing out something as jealousy or envy. because you need to point things out. You need to call people out when they're doing stuff that is not kosher. So my plea to all those people out there who are planning to do bad things, just think about the person that you're actually hurting. That I don't think that person you really want to hurt. So get your brain in gear and do the right thing. As Spike Lee's movie says, do the right thing. So that's how we start today. And then we move on to eBay. Very interesting story. I think I have to give this one to Dax tomorrow on Wow Friday, because this is a wow. eBay recently shut down an auction run by a gentleman called Ari Mandel, who was selling, and I quote, "my portion in Olam Haba," which means heaven, end quote. The bidding started at 99 cents and reached $100,000 within hours. Sadly, I don't think sadly, eBay ruled that items for sale must be tangible. So it must be something you can hold and feel and touch. It is a thing. Although Mandel left the Orthodox Jewish community he was raised in, he believes he's accumulated enough good deeds to have a good spot in heaven. His listing noted that while, quote, "I've done my fair share of aviras," which is sins, "I have a decent amount of unassailable mitzvahs," which is good deeds, hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, "under my belt as well," end quote. Inspired, we're going to sell off our nirvana as soon as we attain it. Just not on eBay. So I'm trying to figure out where Mr. Mandel plans to take this auction. $100,000 in a few hours, started at 99 cents. Okay, people. Shall we start an auction here for love at 99 cents and see how fast you bid on that? You can't just bid your way to heaven or bid a spot in heaven. I'm going to have Pastor, oh my God, Pastor Seaton on here on Monday. I have got to ask him about this place in heaven that Mr. Mandel is inviting people to bid on. How do we get sucked into these things, I wonder and ponder? Instead of trying to get sucked into more positive things like the I Love Me crusade right here on this show, we're going to try to bid for a place in heaven. Wow. That's incredible. I'm just amazed at some of the things that happen. And this is actually true. It's not made up. So we'll make light of it because the President Barack Obama, he was at the White House. Of course, he was entertaining some of the people from the runner-up of American Idol. Jessica Sanchez is the culprit here. She obviously hugged and kissed the president and her lipstick got on his collar. So he quickly took his collar and pointed it out to the crowd that was there and said, "See? And I said, I'm quoting him now. "I just want everybody to witness, so I do not want to be in trouble with Michelle. That's why I'm calling you out right in front of everybody." So the president called out Miss Sanchez. Right there in the crowd, there was a big, round of applause, of course, for the president, because, he's just a guy of lyrics, I'm telling you. President Obama, the man of many words. So hence, it was on in public. So when he got upstairs, the White House that evening, Michelle didn't have to wonder where the lipstick came from, you see. Wouldn't you like to have a bully pulpit so you can declare everything out in the open, just like that? Wow. I think that's awesome. Okay. On a more serious note now, getting back, Senator Bob Dole, who's in his 90s now, had a message for the Republicans. I noticed it's not being touted a lot because it's something that they don't want to hear. Because he knows that as a Republican, he would not be accepted these days because he's too moderate. So he has a simple request for the Republicans. Please, you need to put a sign on your door that says closed for repairs. And you should not come back until January of 2014, after you have sat down and look at what you're doing, what you're saying, and where you're going. Senator Dole, my goodness, it's a pity you're in your 90s and you can't just whip them up their heads and let them understand what you're trying to say to them. Because I truly believe that the Republican Party must close for repairs and reopen when. I'm not putting a date on when they should reopen either. I just think they need to close shop. Look at all the clips of all the crazies in their party. From Rand Paul to Michelle Bachmann to Mr. Ted Crazy Cruz. Just look at them. Paul Ryan. You notice Paul Ryan is not speaking now because the deficit is going down, down, down. They're saying this is the best the deficit has gone down since World War. Huh? But President Obama is getting no credit. And Speaker Boehner doesn't want to speak about it. Neither does Mitch McConnell. So what do we do? What do you do when you're simply needing to have repairs done to your body of people who are crazy and not thinking about the American people? It's not about President Barack Obama or First Lady Michelle Obama. It is about the American people. Just like the people that are sending letters laced with bad things, whatever it is, to President Obama, to Mayor Bloomberg. You think it's going to get to them? No, it's the little people. You're hurting. Why can't you know that? Why do I know that? And I'm not even in your space. Wow. And yes, I'm an independent. So, the fact that Michelle Bachmann is actually quitting, that's a wow. I think both Democrats and Republicans are actually happy to see her go. We're not going to hear any more crazy things being said by Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. I truly think that she loves President Obama, in her secret place. She just has to come out and be caustic or be hateful or, I just think she's truly a nice lady when she's not saying crazy things. Michelle Bachmann, I truly believe that despite all the crazy things that she said, and they've been rerunning them over and over on television all week since she announced that she won't be running for Congress in 2014, I looked at them and I smiled because I think beneath all of that crazy, she's actually a nice lady. She looks that way anyway. But, oh my goodness. Taking a pill and having people become retarded. That's what she said. That's one of the things she said about a pill. That pill that they're trying to get young people, teenagers to take to protect themselves from ovarian cancer. Wow. She said some crazy things. She said crazy things about Muslims. She said crazy things about President Obama, about the other day that he's paying somebody to go walk his dog. I mean, come on. So aren't you happy to see her leave? Yes, but deep down, I think in her quiet moments, she truly likes President Barack Obama. Anyway, this is not a laughing matter. They're saying that the mothers, and before I get into the mothers thing, I just want to remind you and thank you for being my guests this morning, because, you're my guests, all of you, from around the world and in the United States. Thank you for joining me, and I just want to remind you that if you'd like to be a partner of the show, a sponsor of the show, or advertise on the show, you can definitely give us a call at 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. That's the workhorse number. It's the on-air line. It's the line that gives you all that you need. Yeah? I just want you to do that. And I also want for you to like us on Facebook. I'm told there's no love icon. Yeah, I know there's no love icon, but I'm the love person. Okay, I promote love. I truly do. And I want to give it to you too. So give us the thumbs up on Facebook and tell your friends about the show, because that's the only way that we can get the word out about God's miracles, about helping you out of your depression, about teaching you to love yourself, about moving you into your gift and your passion that God truly gave you. Those are the things that the show wants to do. Raise up young people. Encourage older people to not think you're too old to do anything, because you are capable. Encourage your wellness and encourage men to speak. So we ask you, because they say that word of mouth is the greatest advertising. So we're depending on you to pass the word around and get us to the place so we can help everyone on this planet to truly love themselves and love who they are, and teach their children to love themselves. And keep in mind that April 30th is I Love Me Day. So you must do something for yourself on that day. And as you teach your children to love themselves, encourage them to do something special for themselves that day. And every day. But that day is a special day. April 30th, I Love Me Day. And we're doing the countdown now to the book. I'm finished doing all my editing of the proof of the book that I showed you here. And we will let you know when it's available on Amazon. And this is my plea to each and every one of you out there. Once I tell you that the book has hit Amazon, I want you all to go on in your numbers, your thousands, your millions, and purchase a copy of my book, Deadly Negligence. You can't miss it when it gets up on Amazon. I'm telling you that. The cover is the color of my dress that I'm wearing, the power of red. So as you seize the opportunity to read my book, so you can actually go through my journey and have my journey inspire you, or my testimony, whatever you want to call it. Have it inspire you and take you on this journey that I'm trying to get you on. Because when you read, you will see the journey I went on. And as I take you on that journey through the book, at the end, I know for sure that I will win your soul for the kingdom of God, and you will love who you are. I promise you that. So when I tell you that it's available, because after the book is, checked and rechecked and it goes to print again, it takes a few days, think about 11 or 10 days to get to Amazon. When it does, I want you to be prepared to get on there in your millions. I'm not asking for thousands. I'm asking for millions of you to get on and purchase my book, Deadly Negligence, as quickly as it hits Amazon that day. I'll be sure to let you know. I'll make sure I am plugging it, unplugging it myself, so you can be delivered from reading the book. That's how powerful the book is. Well, Dax is reading it now, and he, because I loaned him my proof, and he's saying it's not just a book. We have to get people on the journey. Because what a journey it is, and was, and still is. So, I'm going to get back now to after, I've just plugged myself. And go on my web store and, DianaWrightTV.webs.com and buy some of my t-shirts. And love yourself, because when you have the t-shirt on, you feel great. And you can put your chest up and your shoulders back and breathe and feel good about it. So we deal with moms now because they're saying that moms are now bringing in the bacon. I'm sure you know what that means. They're asking kids, don't go to dad anymore and ask him for your allowance or an increase in your allowance. You need to go to mom because she's the one that's pulling in the bigger salary, the bigger income. But is that really something we want to celebrate? Shouldn't we kind of wait and try to get to celebrate equal pay for equal work? Lots of women are doing the same job and not getting equal pay. It's happening now in 2013. So as we look to talk about the fact that, women are earning more than men, and as we jump up and rejoice and be happy and be glad in it, we better consider that the journey is not over and the work is not done, because women are still doing jobs, the same exact job as a man, and not getting credit for it. And there's a big push today. Oh, houses are going up in price, in value. Really? What about the houses that are still on the water? Tons of them in Florida and all over the place, in California and in Arizona, where you're all talking about that they're bidding wars for houses again? Are we nuts, crazy, or what? Haven't we learned from what happened just a few years ago? So I hear that there may be lotteries for houses again, and people are waiting outside for the builder to put the house on the market, and then the price is going up after a couple months, and the same story. Do we ever learn from our greed and our glutton? And the fact that what happened in 05, 6, 7, 8, was a divine intervention from God about greed? Why are we going back down that journey and that road? That road is not the road to go down. So interest rate went up a point yesterday, and now they're saying rush out to buy that house because you're going to be left out in the cold. And lots of people are rushing out because they think the interest rate. Aren't you listening to Bernanke? The Federal Reserve is simply, Bernanke has been saying it for a long time, ain't nothing much going to happen until 2014, 2015. So why are we trying to panic the American people again to get into the same thing we just got, just kind of tried to bring us out of it as the economy pots and pots and pots along and grow at 2.4%? Why are we trying to brainwash people again about this housing market thing? So, as we give it the hype, people are going to rush. But what about those people whose houses are still underwater? Meaning they owe the bank more than their stupid house is worth, because at the time they purchased that house, the appraisal was a runaway lie. And the banks knew it and approved it anyway. So are we going down that same journey again? I am like, just cannot believe that we are actually taking that journey again. It's not a good road to take. People, take a break, and I can't wait till tomorrow to discuss this with Dax. I won't touch him with this tonight because tonight is about men and relationships and sex and talking about those things that we need to discuss to get it off our chest even, or just let someone else become enlightened about their sexual problems or their relationship problems. So I will wait until tomorrow. Here's another story that's interesting from India. If you don't have a toilet, then you don't and can't have a wedding. That's the rule in India, where grooms are required to provide proof of toilet ownership before participating in a mass marriage ceremony. The Indian state of Madhya Pradesh wants to help poor women get married. So, they created a program in 2006 that paid for couples to engage in mass marriage ceremonies. The state even awards them with valuable housewarming gifts. Who knew? But aside from impoverished women staying single, the state has another problem. More. Can you guess what that problem is? Poor sanitation. In an effort to improve that issue, the government required husbands-to-be to send in photos of themselves with their toilet. And I actually saw some men online with their toilets and in a photograph. If they didn't have one, they had to at least send proof that they intend to install one within 30 days of the wedding. And this is according to the Times of India. As silly as the situation sounds, there's a deeper issue here. Women and girls are getting raped when they leave their toiletless homes to relieve themselves in the open. Is this the India that we're hearing about that's so entrepreneurial that they have an entrepreneur to clean your ears last week? According to the BBC, 400 Indian women could have been spared last year if they had toilets in their homes. This is kind of just a weird, uncomfortable, wow kind of story. You don't have a toilet, you can't get married. If you don't have a toilet, you're doing your business in the street. And if you do your business in the street, you're getting killed for it. Some get raped. What is going on in India? And why is it that so many women seem to be gang raped in India? They have an over energized sex appetite or something? So the question is, what is truly going on in India? We need to be aware of what's going on around the world. And yes, people, this is one of the things that's going on. So, I'm reminding you of something important. Save a Life Jamaica Foundation will have a great fundraising party come October 5, and I'd like for you to be there. Not just to meet me, but to save a life. I will definitely be there. God's willing, I'm still here. I'll be there. So I'm inviting you. This is a personal invitation to each and every one of you on this planet that's watching me from around the world and in the United States, wherever you are. Come to this party and you will be allowed to save a life by only donating $30 to the cause. Lots of people are in worse positions than you and I are in. And sometimes they just need a helping hand to move forward. And it's not about Jamaica, it's about the world. I think Novlet Gale just chose that name because it sounds good, Save a Life Jamaica Foundation. So she stuck that Jamaica in there. but it's for everyone around the world. Wherever the need arises, right here in Florida, where the foundation is based, we see a need here, we will take care of that need here. So I am asking you and giving you a personal invitation to come to the party October 5. And if you can't make the party because you are so busy that you can't take time out to save a life, we invite you to go to the website, Save a Life Jamaica Foundation, and donate that $30. We will make good use of it, I promise you. I get involved in nothing that's shady. That's something you need to know about me. So I will make sure that the people who truly need the help will get help. So I'm thanking you in advance for coming to the party. In advance of October 5, I'm inviting you to that party. For you to come, have a good time while you help donate money to save lives. Okay, getting back here now. I am trying to figure out how a company could go up 174% in a very short time. Which company am I talking about? I'm talking about Tesla. The company with that electric car, even though I know that the guy who's on the top of that company is the same guy that really cheated his wife out of her blessings, even though they were together from college. He just got so mean, and their divorce was nasty, in my opinion. And I just thought that he was mean-spirited. And I guess because he thought that he was moving into another dimension of electric cars where he knows he's going to be successful, he decided to ditch his wife. Eventually, I guess she got something. But Tesla, 174%, they're being now compared to GM when it started, and the ups and downs and where they're going. So I guess by next year, everyone will be driving a Tesla. I'm still in love with the SUVs. So I guess Tesla is going to have to make an SUV for me to be coming over to his road. So Mr. Tesla, are you making an SUV quietly and not telling us? We will see the electric car. And I just wonder, they're having, they have these little plug-ins in certain states right now that you can stop and plug in your electric car from Tesla and recharge it. And I just wonder, I think it's free right now, but is it always going to be free? And am I going to be in the right place when my juice run out? That is my fear about the electric car. Or I gather they're going to have one at every gas station, but my goodness, that's a big project. So I'm wondering, Mr. Tesla, are you promising to make SUVs, and are you really truly committed to getting those charging holes in every gas station so people don't have to be broken down on the road because your Tesla has run out of juice? That's just my little question here today. Okay? All right. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. So on Sunday night, a Papa John's customer in Sanford, Florida. Sanford again, that's where Trayvon Martin's lost his little life, and Mr. Zimmerman said it was in self-defense and all those kind of things. So Sanford is in the news again. So a customer in Sanford checked his voicemail. It's a he, yes, and heard a message from the driver who had just delivered his pizza. Not knowing he'd accidentally called the customer, who is black, the driver used racist terms to badmouth the customer and his wife to a co-worker. So, he goes into the van, his car, he butt dials the redial, and the customer is the one he's calling. And as he continues to speak, A keen bigot with a fondness for opera, the driver then launched into a musical number, replacing the lyrics of the Marriage of Figaro overture with racial slurs. Wow. The customer posted a video of the voicemail online, and Papa John's CEO John Shatner has since offered a heartfelt apology. On Facebook, no doubt. The driver and his co-worker have been fired. Are we just being racist even delivering a pizza? Whoa, people. I keep reminding you that when we die, we all get the same amount of real estate in the earth. So why are we choosing to be mean-spirited and racist at the same time? Why can't we just give love, receive love, love ourselves, and stop this racist behavior? Because that is definitely racist. Here's a story that I want to end on because I think it's an important one and a good one. 3/4 of us are dissatisfied with our friendships, according to a report released from jetlifeboat.com, a site dedicated to exploring, quote, the art of science of friendship. The arts and science of friendship. What's more, 63% of Americans are not confident in their friendships. Are you one of those 63%? I am certainly one of those. Quote, people report feeling unsatisfied and insecure with their friendships, and they yearn for deeper relationships. And the report is calling this the friendship crisis. Everything is a crisis. It's not a crisis if I'm not feeling my friend or they're not feeling me. It's not a crisis. Just go. Move on. Keep traveling. Yes, it bothers you once in a while and you wake up and you try to wonder why. But if it's not going anywhere, you need to just keep on pressing. On average, the report found that Americans have about 4 close friends. How many do you have? And apparently, we aren't happy about it. Researchers also gauged participants' level of happiness, finding a link between the number of friends people have and how happy they are. Quote, across the board, people with 7 or more close friends are happier than those who have fewer friends. How many friends do I have? Can I count them? Is it 7? Is it 3? Is it 5? I'm happy anyway, with or without 7 friends. Unfortunately, our 300 plus Facebook friends don't count. Your Facebook friends don't count because they're really not your friends. They're just people who attach to you and like you for that moment. Quote, there is no clear relationship between number of Facebook friends or Facebook usage and friendship satisfaction or number of close friends. Probably surprising or probably unsurprising is the midlife friendship slump, the study found. Generation X and the baby boomers reported a lower percentage of friendship satisfaction than millennials and seniors. So I guess those of us who are in our 50s and 60s, we don't have a lot of friends. These generations were also less likely to feel confident they have a friend who will listen when they need to talk. You see, that's the good thing about having a friend, that you can actually call them and talk. But nowadays, can you truly talk to that friend and know that that friend is not going to tell someone else, even their brother, their sister, their cousin, their mother, their whatever? Even though you say, this is between you and me. Can you find a friend like that? And loyalty is key when it comes to deep friendships. That is my word. Oh my goodness. I did not even read the story before I came on the air, but I know if I have a friend and they're disloyal, I am gone. Loyalty means the world to me. From anyone, not just my friends, my family. Oh, the family, you can forget them because they're very disloyal, most of them. I would say 99.99% of them, disloyal. Ungrateful. But loyalty, for me, is key to friendship. Loyalty and love, the two L words. So, and loyalty is key when it comes to deep friendships. 1% of participants said that loyalty is the top quality they seek in a close friend. I am so happy I'm not the only person thinking that. 80% said being, quote, a decent, good person was most important. And 74% said they primarily look for someone who, quote, will be there in a crisis. That's how I gauge my friends. The ones that stay with me in a crisis, or the ones that I met in a crisis and they're still there. Only 26% said they look for someone who, quote, shares my spiritual or religious beliefs. Whether you're a Christian or not, if I am in the world and you're a Christian, you can still be my friend. Don't let anyone fool you about that. And a low 17% say a good friend must share similar political views. I don't care who you vote for. You can still be my friend. Yes, I will tell you about my views and how I feel about the guy I'm going to vote for. But we must agree to disagree as friends. 14% primarily look for a friend who's good looking. I never thought about that. Okay, I want no more ugly friends. Never thought about that one. So what's the solution to this so-called crisis? And the site, actually, the report gives 5 tips. Focus on deep friendships rather than superficial ones. Give close friends 1% more of your time each week. Okay, all my friends out there, are you giving me 1% of your time? No. Some of them giving me no time at all. Because they're too busy. You should not be too busy to nurture your friendships. Understand the importance of trust in friendships. Trust, very important. When looking for close friends, focus on deep qualities rather than political or religious beliefs. So whether you're 7-day and I go to Sunday church, it shouldn't matter. Don't let social media distract you from connecting in the real world. And connecting for me means face to face. It doesn't mean a phone call or a text. Not acceptable. Here's one more interesting tidbit we had to add. 28% of people polled would donate a kidney to a friend. Interestingly, married people are 18% more likely to donate a kidney to a pal. So if you're married, you have a good heart, hey? Do you? Wow, I gotta leave it there. Wow Friday, tomorrow we'll continue and finish these that we have here. And we'll go back over some of those, especially the friendship ones, because I want to hear what Dax thinks about friendships. Because it's important to have friends, and a good friend is truly, truly hard to find. And on that note, I say thank you from around the world and in the United States. I thank you so much for joining me today. And I simply ask for you to like me on Facebook. Keep I Love Me Day, April 30th, 2014 on your calendar. Be loyal to me. Love me. Watch me live. And when you don't watch me live, you can go on YouTube. And my daughter tells me that when you go on YouTube, you have to put in The Diana Wright Show. And when it comes up, you just subscribe and you will see all the shows that you've missed. You can also go to my website. It's not up to date right now, but you can see most of the shows there. And we are trying to get it up to snuff. So, if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can call me too. I'll, suss you out and evaluate if you have something to offer my viewing audience, because I love that. I love when people like Judith share and give her tips and tidbits on the program from People 490. And Dax teaches us, a lot about wellness, give us his opinion on men only, about sex and marriage and relationships. And when Dr. Melanie takes an hour out of her busy time to talk to you about relationships and all the medical things that you are thinking about and don't want to ask about, we are thankful for that. And when Pastor Seaton will be here on Monday to talk to us about immigration, because, he's part of that whole thrust to get the immigration bill through Congress and being passed, letting people come out of the shadows and live. So, on that note, I thank you for joining me. Hope you have a great, blessed day, and hope all your dreams come true. And God will give you truly the desires of your hearts. So if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. As I say, adios, au revoir, and ciao. Merci. Thank you for being my guests today. Have a great day and be blessed and stay prayed up now. It's important to pray. And it's important when you pray, you have faith and know without a doubt that your prayers will be answered by the supernatural one God through his son Jesus. Be blessed. Dooby dooby doo.